The Golden State Warriors are in serious talks of trading Draymond Green. As you all know, NBA analysts and also insider information have actually released that the Golden State Warriors are looking to ship out Draymond Green in order to turn this season around for the Golden State Warriors. In today's video, we're going to be going through 3 potential big trades that the Golden State Warriors can make for Draymond Green in order to bring another NBA superstar to the Golden State Warriors and help the Warriors win another NBA championship. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Golden State Warriors content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. But let's get straight into the first potential trade, and the first potential trade is trading Draymond Green for Kyle Kuzma. And I think Kyle Kuzma is a fantastic player, and what I love most about this trade is that Kyle Kuzma does play that power forward position, which is something that they're going to need to fill if they decide to trade Draymond Green. Kyle Kuzma so far for the Washington Wizards is asking for a trade, but he's actually averaging 21 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. So he's putting up some really good numbers so far this season, and he's also shooting a great 46% from the field goal percentage, which is really good to see, especially when it comes to the Golden State Warriors need a little more scoring options on the floor. I think Kyle Kuzma is a fantastic player, not only because he's young, but he has all the intangibles to be a great player on offense and also defense. He's got his scoring ability, great 3-point percentage. His 3-point percentage is actually 35%, which is fantastic to see. But on the defensive end, he's able to stay in front of defenders. He's a pretty good shot contester. He probably doesn't get up there for the shot blocks like James Wiseman. However, his shot contest is very good, and I do think that his offense will really help this team in the long run, especially if you mix him playing with that second unit as well. I think defense is definitely something that the Golden State Warriors need, and it's something that if they decide to trade Draymond Green, they need to get a defensive player, and I think Kyle Kuzma is definitely that guy. It's definitely a part of his game that isn't really mentioned a lot on, but if you do look at the stats, guys, he is averaging 7.6 rebounds, which is really good, and his defensive rebounds are actually 6.6. So a lot of it is very much defense. His blocks are also pretty well at 1.2 blocks, which is pretty good, and I do think that Kyle Kuzma, being so young, is going to be able to develop into a much better player as time goes on. As we've noticed from this Golden State Warriors team, unfortunately, father time is catching up to them, and I think in order to get Draymond Green a better outlook, they need to definitely trade Draymond Green for someone that's a bit younger, that has a little bit more potential, but is also in those years where he's probably at his peak. And I think that's why getting someone like Andrew Wiggins at the time was very, very good, and that's why it paid a lot of dividends, because they were getting a player that was at the peak of his career. I think Kyle Kuzma is definitely entering into that stage where he's going to be the best that he can be. So I think it's very important, and with this trade, I think with Draymond Green being a bit more of a star power and a little more trade value than actual Kyle Kuzma, we would probably be able to get a couple more players from Washington, which would help the depth of the Golden State Warriors, and also maybe a couple of draft picks, which could pay huge dividends due to the fact that the Washington Wizards aren't going too well. So we may potentially get a high draft pick if they decide to trade Draymond Green for Kyle Kuzma. The second potential trade that the Golden State Warriors can make for Draymond Green is to trade for DeMar DeRozan. Now, DeMar DeRozan is a fantastic player, and I think what makes him so great is actually his scoring ability, which is something that the Golden State Warriors have been missing due to the fact that Steph Curry has been out for some time, and also Andrew Wiggins. As you all know, the Golden State Warriors have been playing pretty well when it comes to individual performances. Jordan Poole has put up some pretty good games, Klay Thompson here and there. However, it does seem that they need that guy that can be a go-to scorer if Steph Curry is off, or even if Andrew Wiggins is off as well. I think DeMar DeRozan can definitely fit that bill. They would probably run a more smaller lineup, moving DeMar DeRozan to the small forward position. He can definitely play power forward, but I think Andrew Wiggins would probably move to the power forward position, or get James Wiseman in there to run power forward, and maybe have Klay Thompson coming off the bench. I think it would honestly be great, because unfortunately, as it may seem, Klay Thompson isn't really, playing at his peak that he would, and I do think him coming off the bench with Jordan Poole would actually help the depth of that second unit, which is where Golden State Warriors really seem to struggle if they decide to get DeMar DeRozan. Now, DeRozan is averaging 26 points so far this season, 5 rebounds, and also 5 assists, so he's putting up some pretty good numbers. But where it gets super interesting, guys, is that his effective field goal percentage is 52%. So that is very high, especially for a shooting / small forward, and I think DeMar DeRozan, despite the fact that he is getting older, still has a lot of game left and can still play at a very high level. He's still performing very good numbers on all facets, whether it's defense and offense, and I think a lot of people have forgotten that DeMar DeRozan was a great defender, especially back in Toronto, and he's still a great defender now, but I think it's a part of a game, especially in today's NBA where it's not really talked about. But DeMar DeRozan can definitely stay in front of some of the best players, and he does a fantastic job with that. I think that would honestly be something that the Golden State Warriors need. And like I mentioned before, when it comes to Golden State Warriors, their defense has been pretty poor as of recent. That may be the reason why they have been losing games, due to the fact that the defensive rating last season was actually first, and this season, guys, they're actually ranked 20th in defensive rating. So they definitely need a couple more defensive players, due to the fact that players like Gary Payton II, Otto Porter Jr., and JTA have left. I think DeMar DeRozan can definitely fit that bill of making up for that defensive lackluster. So it would be interesting to see DeMar DeRozan get traded for Draymond Green, and I do think this would be a perfect swap. I think their trade value is roughly the same. It's not really in that peak superstar status. However, they are probably going to be probably around the same trade value, and I don't really see us needing to give up more for DeMar DeRozan, or also Chicago Bulls giving up anything more in order to get Draymond Green. So I think it would be an even trade and an even swap between the two. The third trade that the Golden State Warriors can make for Draymond Green is to trade for Myles Turner. Now, I think this is probably one of my favorite trades, because I think Myles Turner still has a lot to go, and especially due to the fact that he stands at 6'11", 250 pounds, this is something definitely the Golden State Warriors need. I think now in today's NBA, with everyone running small ball, it's definitely a chance for some other teams, especially teams like the Golden State Warriors, to add a couple of big players to their roster in order to really shake up the defense and also offense as well. If Myles Turner had a 6'10", maybe even 6'8" guy on him, especially in today's NBA, especially with that power forward position, I do think Myles Turner can honestly cook them day in and day out. And I think that would be honestly fantastic to see Kevon Looney and Myles Turner running that power forward and center position. So far this season, Myles Turner is actually averaging 16.1 points per game, 7.9 rebounds, and 1.4 assists. Now, what I do think Golden State Warriors have with Draymond Green is that he has defense and also great playmaking ability. Now, Myles Turner doesn't have playmaking ability, but something that Myles Turner does have over Draymond Green is three-point shooting. If we look at Myles Turner, so far this season, he's actually averaging 5 threes a game, and he's actually shooting a three-point percentage of 42%. Yes, guys, that is insane, 42%. If we put him on the Golden State Warriors, he would actually have the highest three-point percentage in the team, even higher than Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, and also Jordan Poole. So this definitely shows just how great Myles Turner would be for this team, and I think when it comes to this trade, the Golden State Warriors would maybe need to give maybe one more draft pick or two in order to get someone like Myles Turner, due to the fact that Myles Turner is definitely at his peak in his career. Now, he may not be at the high trade value or may not have all-star superstar status, but I do think everyone knows that Draymond Green is for, getting up there in age, and it will take a long time for him to actually adjust to the Indiana system. So I think that's something that we wouldn't need to give up, but this trade would honestly be fantastic for the Golden State Warriors. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Peace.